One of former U.S. President Donald Trump's signature border policies is going to go before the U.S. Supreme Court. The Biden administration brought this case after a district judge sided with Texas and Missouri to reinstate Title 42. Really the Remain in Mexico policy. This one requires asylum seekers to wait in Mexico until it's time for their case to be heard. Congressional correspondent Kilmeny Dukart joining us live outside the Supreme Court. Kilmeny, standing by there with a very special guest here. Talk to me about that.
Good morning, Sean and Emma. I'm standing here with Missouri's Attorney General Eric Schmitt, where oral arguments are set to kick off at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's the top of the hour in the case of Biden versus Missouri and Texas, where the fate of the Trump-era policy, Remain in Mexico, as it's called, but formerly known as MPP, or Migrant Protection Protocols, which allows for migrants to wait in Mexico for their asylum cases to be heard. Thank you for being with us. The Biden administration is going to say that it has the legal authority to take this away. What can we expect to hear in arguments today?
Well, this case is about the rule of law, right, and making sure we have a secure border. The fact of the matter is Joe Biden reflexively on day one tried to undo all the successful policies that President Trump put in place that brought us a secure border. He didn't do it the right way. The district court found it our way. We took it all the way to the Supreme Court on the preliminary injunction phase. The Supreme Court agreed, and now we're back here. The Justice Department has appealed it. But we're confident the law is on our side, and you just simply cannot have what we're seeing happen at the southern border right now. It's mayhem. It's an open border. This is Biden's plan, but he didn't do it the right way. It's an illegal act on his part, which is why we've been successful and why we hope to be successful today.
How confident are you in the 6-3 leaning conservative justices in this case?
Well, in the previous arguments, essentially the test was, are we likely to prevail on the merits? Well, here we are now on the merits. And so that's a very good sign. It doesn't guarantee anything, but it's a good sign. And we're going to continue to fight. I mean, I think this is a very important Trump-era protection at the border. The people who are seeking asylum, Mexico's the waiting room. They're not just released into the interior of the United States, never to be seen again. That kind of catch and release policy, it doesn't work. There's nothing compassionate about that, by the way. The cartels are running the show at the southern border. And so we had a secure border under President Trump, and we're trying to bring that back.
And immigration activists behind us are arguing that this policy is inhumane, that it exposes migrants to dangerous border conditions and violence. What's your response to that argument?
Well, I've been to the border twice, and one of the law enforcement officials there told us that $100 million a week is the value of the human smuggling alone that the cartels engage in. That doesn't even count the fentanyl that's being dumped in our communities all across the country. So they're taking advantage of this situation. They run the border. They've got zones of influence in the United States. We've got to put a stop to it. We've got to have a secure border.
Very big victory for Missouri, Arizona, and Louisiana. You won a lawsuit to keep Title 42 temporarily in place. How significant is this, and what does it mean for the fate of Title 42?
It's a big win yesterday. Title 42 accounts for about 50% of the expulsions. If Biden is successful in eliminating Title 42, you will see a tsunami of illegal immigration. 18,000 people a day is the estimate. It's a total disaster. And so we were successful yesterday at the district court level to get the temporary restraining order. We'll be back in court in about a month. Look, it's up to the states. The federal government, because of Joe Biden's leadership, has completely created an open border, and it's up to the states now to push back. I'm proud that Missouri's helping lead that charge.
All right, Missouri's Attorney General Eric Schmitt with us. Sean and Emma, back to you.
All right, Kilmeny Dukart reporting live there with AG Eric Schmitt there of Missouri. Thank you so much. For more on that, we'll bring in Congressman Randy Weber of Texas on the border here. A lot of questions coming up here. Congressman Weber, good to see you, and thank you so much for coming on here. So you just saw Attorney General there, Eric Schmitt of Missouri, essentially winning a suit here, a judge halting lifting Title 42 at the border. This administration, the current administration, wanted May 23rd for that to end. Now, this has been blocked, at least for now, and the 3 attorneys general have been successful at this. Give me your overall thoughts on that.
Well, Sean, we should be able to use Title 42 to secure our border. I've had some people ask, well, a lot of Republicans are saying that the pandemic is over, so what are you worried about people coming north, with diseases? And the truth of the matter is, we don't know how many people coming from the southern part below our border have COVID, the measles. There's a lot of other infectious diseases that we've done away with a long time ago in the United States of America. And so my question to those doubters and naysayers that we need to secure our border using Title 42 is this: how many Americans have to be infected, injured, killed by the drug cartel? The Attorney General of Missouri alluded to them, how many hundreds of millions of dollars a week they're making. Child trafficking, sex trafficking, they're raping women. How many Americans have to be killed and hurt? We saw our soldier Bishop Evans yesterday, who gave his life there in Eagle Pass. How many more have to be killed before we say, let's secure our border?
Sure. Yeah, Texas National Guardsman Bishop Evans, 22-year-old, lost his life allegedly trying to save two migrants in the Rio Grande, trying to cross over illegally. Also, as reported by Texas, I believe DPS, that they were involved in narcotics and transferring narcotics across the border. Coincidentally, ironically, if you'd like, they survived. Those migrants survived. The Texas National Guardsman did not. I want to move on to this, too, in your thoughts, your personal thoughts there. I know you're there at Texas. What are you seeing? I know you visited the border, correct me if I'm wrong, but multiple times. What are you seeing down there? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? What needs to change?
Sean, it's getting so much worse. And I was in the Texas House of Representatives for 4 years, and I was on the Borders Committee my second term. Steve McCraw, the director of the DPS, hit it on the head. Even back then in 2009, when his staff had said that 5,000 Texans were injured by illegals, and that means beat up, robbed at gunpoint, home broken into, cars stolen, cars broken into, aggravated assault, some with a deadly weapon, rape on some of the women, and even murder by people who aren't even supposed to be in this country. And Sean, that was in 2009. Can you imagine what that total is today? It's getting worse and worse. This is Biden's border crisis. In my opinion, he bears some responsibility for Bishop Evans' death. He bears responsibility for a lot of the harm that's going on down there. I've been to the border probably 8 or 9 times. He's not making it better. President Trump made it better. People ought to have to remain in Mexico to make their claim for asylum.
Yeah.
Not come up here. We just don't have the resources to vet everybody.
Remain in Mexico is something being heard by the Supreme Court. We were just reporting on that. You can clearly see protesters of it there outside, as you've seen. You mentioned President Trump. He had a rally earlier. He actually spoke on the border. Here's that.
Just 15 months ago, we had ended catch and release, stopped asylum fraud, deported thousands and thousands of gang members the hell out of our country, and we built nearly 500 beautiful miles of border wall, exactly as the border protection agencies wanted.
Press Secretary Jen Psaki recently said that border wall, essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, doesn't do anything, a waste of money, if you will. Final thoughts from you, Congressman, on that?
Well, it's funny that Pelosi and company and even the White House have walls around it. And while we're on but they say, well, walls protect them, but not to protect the regular Americans. And the other thing I would say you didn't ask about is the Americans' right to have guns. All of those leaders are protected by, Secret Service or Capitol Police who carry guns, but they don't want us, the law-abiding citizen, to be able to have a gun. So the hypocrisy from the left is just out of control. People will know that in November, and they will rise up and throw them out.
A final question for you, and just to really pivot, lastly, to you talk about freedom of speech, hypocrisy, Elon Musk buying Twitter. It seems to be all the buzz. People are talking about this. Did this make its way into your opinions? Do you have thoughts on it, and what would they be?
Well, there was 9 of us with Leader McCarthy yesterday. We had some conversation about it. We hope that he will put it back in the format that it should be, and that, of course, is free speech. You don't and that's what the First Amendment's all about. You know this, Sean. People can say things you don't agree with. Apparently not for Twitter, not for Facebook, and some of the others, because if you're a conservative and you have an opinion, oh no, that cannot be allowed. And so the hypocrisy there is really unbelievable. We think he'll do a good job at getting it back to where it needs to be.
All right. It's good to see you, Congressman Randy Weber of Texas, joining us live. Congressman, thank you. We appreciate it.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.